oxygen many organisms use it to make ATP. The first step is glycolysis, which occurs in the cytosol, no oxygen is required to oxidize the glucose. Split it into pyruvate enzymes to speed it up, and the cell is like,
oh, I need some ATP. Glucose has so much chemical energy. How do I make it release? I need to use enzyme protein substrate. Don't you wait too long. Go to the active site and complex with me. Induce it binds properly. Products are now active sites free ATP.
First you use 2 ATP. Modify glucose to enzymes 3. Form a couple of G3P. Oxidize to pyruvate. Producing some NAD to help store more energy. Forming 4 ATP net to form me NADH used later. Enzyme. Make a 2 ATP. Enzyme. Reducing to NAD. Enzyme. Store electrons high energy. The more glucose is absorbed and it repeats, generating more ATP.
Now we go to the link step in the inner memory space to oxidize pyruvate. They're decarboxylated, making 2 NADH and turn into acetyl-CoA. Oxygen is required in the background since the process is aerobic. To CO2 wasted, we go to the matrix aerobic once again, and it's going like,
oh, I need some ATP. Glucose has so much chemical energy. How do I make it release? I need to use enzyme protein substrate. Don't you wait too long. Go to the active site and complex with me. Induce it binds properly. Products are now active sites free ATP.
Procarbonyl acetate combines with acetyl-CoA, converted to 6-carbon citrate. Now it's time for some redox. NAD plus gets reduced. We also make FADH2, then ADP and pi form ATP. Now reform the reactants. Enzyme. To FADH2. Enzyme. 6 NADH for you. Enzyme. 2 ATP and 4 CO2. Oxaloacetate is formed again. Now it's time for the ET.
give me some electrons, come on. Electron carrier redox travels through the ETC, yeah. Oxygen final acceptor, protons to the intermembrane. Both sides now are not quite the same. Protons go into the matrix, travel through ATP synthase.
Intermembrane with low pH sends protons through ATP synthase. Going down its gradient, yeah, it's chemiosmosis. The inorganic phosphate binds to the ADP, and now we find that the energy in glucose has released, and it's stored in the ATP.
Enzyme.
Protons crossing the membrane.
Enzyme.
ATP formed by synthase.
Enzyme.
Now there are 38 ATP, and the only thing to do now is repeat. Respiration is now complete.